listening to us online. Now, cease and settle. Now, I want to tell you all tonight, I have a bit of a hoarse voice. But you all know the lioness. Not the Democratic Labour Party, not cancer, not a hoarse voice is going to stop the lioness from coming tonight to talk to you about the Barbados Labour Party. I want to tell you that I'm proud tonight as I stand here of the achievements of the Barbados Labour Party. You have seen and read the red record of the Barbados Labour Party, but tonight we come to launch the Barbados Labour Party's Manifesto. And for those of you young people in the audience who are here tonight but may not quite understand why you are here, I want to take a minute to talk to you, to tell you about the journey as to why we are here tonight to launch this document. I started at the age of 16 speaking in Golden Rock, the Pine. I came up in a Barbados Labour Party family, and I have always felt that the Barbados Labour Party has distinguished itself as a party whose leadership has had the vision for the people of this country. I can see no other party right now that has presented a vision for this country. But I will go further, because Mia Amor Motley, from even when she was in the Barbados Labour Party's opposition, shared the vision for this country. And I have had the benefit of not only being mentored by our Prime Minister from the days of opposition, but of having the opportunity to serve as her Deputy Prime Minister over the course of the last 7 years. And I hear many of you say from time to time, the Prime Minister overseas, the Prime Minister is not here. But I want you to understand tonight that the Barbados Labour Party team, under the leadership of Prime Minister Mia Amor Motley, even in her absence, the Prime Minister has been present. She has been present, giving the guidance to the people of this country, giving the guidance to all of us in Cabinet to make sure that we execute the vision of the Barbados Labour Party. And having had the benefit of serving under two leaders, I want to tell you that Mia Amor Motley is second to none, not only when it comes to the vision for this country, but her leadership and her stewardship of the people of this country. I am proud to be led by our Prime Minister. Prime Minister always says we are not perfect. We fall down sometimes, but we get up, and we are not afraid to talk to the people and pull back things when the public cries out and says, when they're going too fast. That is leadership. Not somebody who is just playing fast and loose with the policies and the people of this country. And I'm proud tonight because Prime Minister said to us today, and the others in Cabinet will attest to this, as we were doing the speakers meeting, she asked each of us if we were pleased with what had been produced in this document. And one by one, everybody attested to the fact that we could see the vision of Mia Motley being borne out in this document tonight. We have, for the first time in the Barbados Labour Party, and I've been going 15 years in politics, from the days of the Senate to now. And I can tell you that this is the first time that we have had an opportunity in the Barbados Labour Party to weigh in at the level of decision making as to what goes into this document. Usually it is a core team. Prime Minister Motley has made sure that all of us have been included in giving the necessary input to be able to help to shape the decision making and the policies and the transformation that is necessary for this country. Barbadians, I stand here tonight to tell you that that is leadership. We started as an opposition party framing out what we wanted to do in government. And we came to public office expecting to do the things that we told the country we were going to do. And tonight we stand proud on the record of achievements that this party has delivered to the people. And despite COVID and the long hours of working, 20 hours out of a 24-hour day under Prime Minister Motley, and going through the ashfall and having to figure out how to clean the country and get all of the economic sectors firing again, we stand here tonight knowing that we have restored confidence in the Barbados economy, that with the help of people like Kirk and all of the others, Eddie and all the others who have worked hard to build out the social sectors in this country, that we feel proud to know that we can now turn the corner to the transformation that is necessary for the next generation of Barbadians. I have had the responsibility of shouldering two ministries thus far: education and education transformation. And I've also, for the last few years, had the benefit of being Minister of Public Works, of being able to bring 121 buses, electric buses to this country, for which I can say tonight, as we have promised to the people of Barbados in December, that when the buses came, give us to the end of January and you will see those buses on the road. I am told by my Director of Transport tonight and my CEO that come Monday morning, those vehicles will be registered and the people of this country will start to see the benefit of those buses being deployed across the country. And I want to start here because I hear a lot of talk on the other side about how the Barbados Labour Party is trying to disenfranchise the workers of the Transport Board. I hear about how we're trying to sell off the Transport Board. And we have been very clear in the messaging that we have given to the people of this country, as we have done in every other sector, where we have determined that in order to transform this economy, because the economy of 20 years ago cannot be the economy upon which Barbados is built today and going forward, we have said that the Transport Board, which we have carried, which we have made sure that our young people, our school children can travel for free, that our people with disabilities have the benefit of also being able to use public transport, that our elderly people who have had the benefit of public transportation for years, we have said as a Barbados Labour Party that that will remain the status quo. So do not fall for the tricks of the Democratic Labour Party. On the last two elections, they put a lady who was a die-hard Democratic Labour Party supporter to fool the people and tell the people that the grandparents are now got to pay for bus fares or they can't travel on the bus. We, the Barbados Labour Party, have determined that when it comes to mass transit and being able to make the mass transit system in Barbados more efficient, that we have determined that we will enfranchise the workers of the Transport Board. That we will allow them, just as we did in the days of Tom Adams, to make sure that ordinary people who look like you and me have the opportunity to be involved in the public transportation sector. That we are not seeking to sell off the Transport Board, but we want to make sure that when you are going to work, that you know what time you have to go to get your bus. That where we have seen development in this country, that you also know when your buses are coming and that we can fill in the necessary times with public transportation. We want to ensure that in 2026 and beyond, that there's a system of public transportation that is reliable and more efficient. And that is what the Barbados Mass Transit Authority is about. But we have gone further because we do not have time to argue with the Democratic Labour Party. We have simply said to the unions, we are in consultation, and out of the respect that we have for our stakeholders, we are going to continue to discuss and to negotiate with them. And then we will come back to the public of Barbados at the appropriate time. they will not rush the brush of the Barbados Labour Party. As it relates to roads and the future of roads, this Barbados Labour Party manifesto addresses the issue of traffic congestion. Because while we have done a lot in terms of being able to build out the road infrastructure, and I can tell you that with this year alone, we have 20 major roads and highways that are being rolled out from the beginning of this year to the end of this year. And why? Because we worked all last year to make sure that we could prepare not for an election, but to make sure that we did the planning to ensure that you, the people of this country, could get the much needed relief to be able to allow you to have a better commute on the roads of Barbados. We have also said in this manifesto that we will look at the widening of a number of major highways. Because if you recall, 50 years ago, it was donkey and cart. Today, you have almost 1 in 1 having public transportation in households. Before, it was 1 in 5. It therefore means that the roads infrastructure that you have today was not built for the traffic that we have on our roads. And as a consequence, we can't just simply dig up roads and put down asphalt. We must therefore plan if we are to modernize the infrastructure. Because people do not realize that to build a road, there's a lot that goes into it. You have to assess the road. You got to see if drainage works have to go in. Sometimes you have to do acquisitions. And what we have focused on in this manifesto is that in an effort to ease the congestion in this country, we have said we will make sure that we are able to widen areas like Highway 2A, of which I can tell you tonight that I got 1,000 solar lights coming from across the seas, landing here by March to make sure that for the first time, Highway 2A is fully lit from its junction at Warrens all the way to mile and a quarter.
Hey, 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 hey.
This Democratic Labour Party wants something with we. This is a party that plans. This is a party that leads. This is a party that is telling you in this manifesto, it is time, Barbados, that we have to look at staggered school hours. It is already happening in our private schools and a few institutions. But the only way that we can start to ease congestion is not only to widen our roadways, to improve our traffic signals, but we also have to look at the behavior of our people. Because many times, while we have improved our lifestyle and everybody wants a car, we also have to consider, how do we carpool sometimes? How do we make the system of public transportation better so that instead of driving your car, you will put down your car, and as we develop the park and ride systems in this country, that you may be able to drive to a particular location and then take the bus and come into Bridgetown. Bridgetown cannot carry, and Oistins cannot carry the traffic that is now on our roads. So while the government is preparing on one end, it also requires a change in the behavior of our people as well. We have done more in terms of infrastructure in this country, spent more on infrastructure than any previous administration, BLP or DLP. And it is only because the Prime Minister and her team, every time we have the fiscal space to put money into road infrastructure, that she has done so to make sure that we can improve our roads bit by bit. We told you in December, we are investing in new equipment, pothole patching machines. Y'all see Dunksman and all the MTW people showing one of the pothole patching machines on the road. We do not talk. This party is about action. And I want to tell you tonight, we have never neglected the people in our rural parishes. We have made sure that the people in the Scotland district have benefited and will continue to benefit. Because while we have 15 roads completed, 15 roads ongoing. We have about another 50 roads for which designs have been completed. And once we have enough contractors to do the work, Barbados Labour Party, Barbadians, I'm telling you, we're gonna build out the road infrastructure in this country. When we build infrastructure, we allow for you to be able to make a living. For the people in the rural parishes who want to be in a position to be able to generate economic activity, that is what we are prepared to do for this country. The Barbados Labour Party has also made sure that when we are returned to office on February 11th, the first order of business is also to make sure that the people in the housing units, that many of them in specific areas whose title can be conveyed, that we hand over the title. Because we understand as a government, having seen people, listen to people, and understand what it means to own a piece of the rock, that there are people who with a title deed can stand bail for somebody. They have the security, they can go to the bank, and they can borrow money to improve their home. And we understand the importance of doing it, while at the same time making sure that we have programs in place to maintain the housing stock in this country. That is a Barbados Labour Party with a vision for the people. We did not come before the election and tell you, as the last administration did, that if you live in your house for 20 years, we just shoving the unit at you. When they said they're giving you the unit, we came to office and we made sure that we did the electrical upgrades to those units. We made sure that we fixed the wells in the community, which I have had to suffer in St. Michael's Southeast at the hands of a Democratic Labour Party, because I lost a young man in the prime of his life falling into a well. And we came to office and we said, it will never happen again under a Barbados Labour Party administration. So I stand here tonight to fully endorse our manifesto, to endorse Prime Minister Motley and the Barbados Labour Party team, to tell you that even when she is absent, she is present. And that I am very pleased to know that after years of listening to her vision for what she would want to see for this country, that we are starting to reap the fruits of the labor, to reap the fruits of the labor and the Labour Party. And therefore I ask you on February 11th to go to the polls in your numbers. Do not take for granted that the Barbados Labour Party will win, but to make sure that you put your feet to the fire and you bring home victory for the Barbados Labour Party. Thank you and God bless.